Welcome. Make sure my mic is coming through. And here she comes. Welcome. Good day. How is everyone doing? Hello, hello, hello. Let's see who has the best seat in the house. I have my plug. Second. Much better. Much better. Can you hear me now? Hello. Please like and share. Please like and share. Come on in. There's a feast going on. I spent all year preparing this meal for you. Come and get it. Ding, ding, ding. Dinner time. Elder Manny said he's got his TV set. He's got his iPhone and his iPad. That's love. Thank you, sir. See, Rafael Sanchez was the first to tune in tonight. Hello. Hello, Ashley and Dominique. Prudence. Cheryl Johnson from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Gwyneth Douglas, Dawson Adult Daycare. Good to have you with us. Diana, Sandra, Lydia Cordova. Darlene has the best seat in the house. Good evening. Hello, Jason. Hello, Stephanie Ramirez, Chevelle. I see you, Ashley and Karen. Hello, Yolanda. Hello, Joycey. Hello, hello, hello. Pastor Dolores, Latoya, hello. Hello, Sincerity. Coach Ebony, of course. She's the first one on, really on. She stays on. Hello, Cora, Renee, Audrey, hello, Leah. Noemi, hello. Hello, Candy. Good evening, Tasha Ross. John Booker, good evening. Bianca, Danielle, Nicole, good evening, Bernard. Ronnie Bonner. All right, men. All right. I see you. I see you. Terry Brinson. Hello. Diana Special. Destiny. Oh my God. Sick in bed with COVID. My. Hello. Cynthia Baisden. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Vanessa Bolin. Rhonda Johnson. Special. I see you, Carmen Sanchez. Come on, men. Pastor Kareem Bolin, I see you. Hello, A-Rod. Good to see you. Crystal Adgers. Good evening. If I didn't say already, Nicole Coleman. Yes, yes, and yes. You're hungry, huh? Raphael says hungry too. Hello, Joelle. Yes, Ronnie Bonner, where the feast of the Lord is going on. Rosalie, I see you. Carmen Jones. Hello. Omojolo. Forgive me if it's wrong, but welcome. Good to see you in with us tonight. Anna, Carolyn Booker, Daniel Woodard, Mariah. Hello, Nanita. Jessica Shields. Good evening, Kamisha. I see you. Davita, Caritha, Pastor Yashika. Hello. Hello, Lawanda, Sharita, Rashard. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. How you doing? Did y'all survive last night? Did y'all survive last night? I think last night probably pulled some triggers. Were y'all around looking like Static Man, Electricity Man? Hello, Pastor Jacob from Uganda. Welcome. Welcome, Elsie. Hello, Damien. I see you. Powerful was one comment from last night. Last night was awesome, said Constance. Constance got a whole crew on, everyone. She sent me a message. She got like 3 people on, and it's beautiful. And one I know for sure is really, really involved. Deep soul diving. Yes. A-Rod said it was deep. Absolutely. Not that I want to go deep just to get y'all all inspired, but I want you to understand how deep our emotions go in this. And it starts from birth, if not even before. Yep. It needs to be watched again. Really good. I really want to, as you see on the video that I made, because the other one, I think the free music ran out and they started copywriting me for all the videos last year and muting some of them. We can't afford that. So I went in and did my own little thing. And I tried to keep the gunk that goes flowing through that. Remember that mannequin's body? And we talked about let it out and all the gunk was flowing through the body. That's what the gunk is on the screen, in case y'all ain't put it together. But I really want you to understand how intricately designed we are. God did this, and he did it on purpose. And it's time for us to get on purpose. We cannot be so spiritual. We cannot be so heaven bound that the years we have on earth are no good, where people are wishing to be in heaven because we can't maneuver and live through conflict and troubles of life. It's important. It's important to understand emotions affects every part of our humanity. And God wanted it that way. He wanted us to worship him out of emotion, an expression of adoration and love for him. I couldn't imagine not receiving emotional response from someone, even a little child. When Maddie's at it on a Sunday or something, and she catches me in the hallway, shows me, just says, "I just love you," and you just hear it. And she's saying it almost like she just loves cake. "I just love you." The emotion in that. Could you imagine someone saying, "I love you," and you can't even feel their energy? Emotion. Just like the video says that I was just saying that I made, to turn you from darkness to light. When you can self-regulate, when you're self-aware, when you have control over your emotional stability, we can start having and enjoying that abundant life that he's been telling us about in the word. His written letter to us is telling us about abundant life, and he wants us to enjoy abundant life. And some of us can't because we're dictated by our emotions. You don't want anybody else controlling you, but your emotions control you. And your emotions don't make you look good. They don't. They don't care how much of a clown you look like. It does not matter to them. We should be coming back up better, hopefully better now. Just hanging there. That part I thought I was never gonna get. Froze. Yeah, stream. StreamYard, for some reason, is having trouble connecting with my Wi-Fi, and it has us just way down too low. Is the mic okay, Eb? Can you hear the mic? Okay. All right. I see y'all are saying no sound. Let's see. Okay, she says now, so someone heard me. All right, real good. So Ebony said she got a lot of feedback on last night. So let me just, I'll wrap it up. I'll wrap it up tonight on this part. People were saying, where's she at in the book? I was told it's not in the book. I was actually giving you personal therapeutic coaching lessons right here in the office with me. That's why you didn't know what you were getting. But let me remind you of this statement right here. Please remember that what we learn in childhood about relationships, on how people connect and act, gets internalized. I'm going to say it again. Please remember that what we learn in childhood about relationships, how people connect and act, gets internalized. But it also gets generalized, and it becomes our world view. That's why some people are quick to be ready to leave the parents' nest and go out and live into the world and explore, not out of naiveness, because there's that other side where people are rushing to get out, and it's out of naiveness. Mom and dad hadn't yet given you the skills that you need to leave the nest. And then there are those that never want to leave the nest. And sometimes a great part of it has to do with your worldview. How do you see the world? How do you see the world? Is the world a scary place? Is it a dangerous place? Is it a sad place? Is it a place that's not welcoming to you? What is your worldview? Let me see on the screen. What is your worldview? Just briefly, how do you see the world? You're going to be so surprised too at what comes out of you, especially if we had time for a conversation. An adventurous place. Dangerous place. Yep. Come on, y'all. Light the screen up. Let's go. It's 95 of y'all in here tonight. Challenging. Mixed feelings. Someone sees it as unfair. Absolutely. Challenging. Full of disappointment. A scary place. Mixed of complexity and danger. It's huge. Think about that thought. It's scary. It's dark, even though I'm blessed. It's a challenging place. Unfair. It's a place that challenges you. Complex. Unstable. Without Christ, it's meaningless. I see the world as a place of unfairness. Someone else says wonderful. Someone else is a place of opportunity. Disappointment. It can be deceitful, very challenging, sometimes unfair and scary. Someone else says it ain't no joke. Someone said, to be honest, I lived in fear because of childhood issues, full of opportunities. The world has gone mad. It's labeling. It has uncertainty, all the different feelings. And we all live in the same world. And a lot of this is your perception because of the home that you came out of. And there has to be a time in your life where you stop living on perceptions. That's not enough. Never let anybody perceive you how they want to. No, I want you to be clear on who I am and what I mean. That's why I don't like the I'm just saying statements. No. We are creative individuals. We are creative human beings. What we say matters. I don't just say anything. My words are so powerful that I have to repent daily because I know that the creative life is living in my words. Are y'all with me? So please remember that what we learn in childhood about relationships, how people connect and act, not only gets internalized, but also gets generalized into our worldview. If you grew up believing that people are generally responsive and thoughtful, and that you are deserving of respect and likable, Your emotional responses to challenging situations and how you tend to see other people's motives are going to be very different than if you've grown up thinking that people aren't trustworthy and that they're likely to take advantage of you. Some of them have had this done to them right from their own parents. Your parents were untrustworthy, stole from you, used your credit, tried to take your friends from you, talked about you to your friends. And that internalizes. It doesn't go away when you leave the nest, people. And enough of us on here now are old enough to realize that the older we get, it seems like the more that stuff shows up. Anybody recognize that? The older we get, it's like it shows up and we have to really fight for their ways to not be our ways. Let me pick up a little bit and move over here. You're going to have to do replay on last night. I don't have time to repeat it because we really want to make up for time here. So where does the self-control, emotional processing, and mental models come together? I'm glad you asked. For our emotional intelligence to be functioning optimally, permitting our thoughts to inform our feelings and our emotions to inform our thinking, we have to be able to self-regulate. I'll say it again. Permitting our thoughts to inform our feelings and our emotions to inform our thinking. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, thinking. We have to be able to self-regulate sufficiently. Half the time is not good. 80% of the time is not good. So that we're able to control our impulses. One of the fruits of the Spirit is self-control. God expects you to have self-control. He doesn't expect you to say, if you didn't do this, I wouldn't have done that. He doesn't expect you to say, my emotions caught me out of bag. No, listen. You know this book right here, Bible. You know what it tells us right from the beginning? Let me look in your eyes tonight. You know what it tells us right from the beginning? That he gave us authority. He gave us authority over the creeping, crawling things of the earth. He gave us authority over the things of the sea. He gave us authority of the things of the air. And you can't control your emotions? The truth's not in you. Your truth, but not the truth. How can you control and have authority over all these things and you can't control you? Come on, who's going to get in here with me tonight? We're going to be real. We're going to be real. We're trying to control everything and everybody, and we can't control ourselves. That's it right there. That's the wording, authority and dominion. And then when it comes to ourselves, we're like a loose rudder on a boat. We change with every wind of emotion. Never mind doctrine. Let me give you an example. You and a friend get into a tiff about an event you're planning together, and you're really about to lose it on her when you suddenly think about the fact that she's under enormous stress financially, and you consciously tone down your feelings and words. Do that often enough, consciously regulate your feelings, and it may even start to happen without your thinking about it. Just like you can't control your tongue, you can't control your emotions, you can't control what you said. You always got to go back and do a rewind to apologize. When you allow your consciousness on purpose, intentional, when you are intentional about self-improvement and self-development and change for the better, just like you couldn't control it before, you will be in control of it without even thinking. It'll be mechanical. Do it often enough. Consciously regulate your feelings, and it may even start to happen without your thinking about it. Or alternatively, you realize that you're as angry as you are because this same friend is belittling you in the same way your mother did. And that's tipping the scales and making you insane. In that moment, you get what's triggering you. What's triggering that person? In our example, what's triggering them? Right. We can easily say it's the belittling. That's a trigger. But what the pin that's pulled out is the belittling because it's familiar to you from your mother. In that moment, you get what's triggering you. And yes, you consciously can take a deep breath and begin to let go of that anger, because the anger solves nothing. That's conscious regulation of emotion in action. Conscious regulation of emotion in action. For those that have the insecure attachment styles, this is not your strong suit. This is not your strong suit. If you are in that attachment style of the insecure, that's not your strong suit. You belong to me the rest of these 20 days, because we've got to get some skills in you that were not given to you, and they're lacking, and it's showing up. I promise you it's showing up. It's not your strong suit. Learning to read cues, labeling emotions, and becoming conscious and aware of how feelings impact behaviors are all skills that I can teach you. So permitting our thoughts to inform our feelings and our emotions to inform our thinking, we have to work on being able to self-regulate sufficiently. So it will not surprise you at this point that there's evidence that our childhood experiences, specifically those connected to our mothers, affect our self-control. Especially those connected to our mothers. That's why there's so much weight on the mother. And I hear women saying, why is it so much on the mother than it is the father? God put nature on you. On you. That's on us. And it's like we've turned against it. We hate it. And then we want to be celebrated on Father's Day. No. Mother's Day is enough. You're not a father. You're not even equipped with what's needed to be a father to children. And you should not want to. Learn your lane. We haven't learned enough. So let's look at our attachment patterns for tonight, and then we can move away from this. And maybe some of y'all will want to work with me, or just throughout the year, be on the lives. We're going to keep going all year long. It just won't be a consistent 30 days. Looking at our attachment patterns. I want you to hear these 4 statements that I'm going to make. Psychologists have already been practicing this for years. Many people know about it. Coaches from Tony Roberts on down often profile people this way, in a healthy way, in order to cut to the chase of getting them the help they need. When you learn someone's attachment style, you can understand how they think. And instead of arguing over the things we say, you can understand why they say things that way, why they think that way. It's because of their attachment style. And you're not going to change that in an argument. So I want you to listen, and I want you to decide which of these 4 describes you the closest, the most accurate. You may, in fact, agree with more than one, since attachment styles actually aren't as discrete as the categories make them. And there may be some overlapping as you have grown up, or maybe one side came from the dad, one side from the mom. So let me make these 4 statements. Are you ready? You're going to need to write them down. First, is it easy for you to become emotionally close to others? Still number 1. Are you comfortable depending on others and having others depend on you? Do you worry about being alone or having others not accept you? That's all number one. Number one, is that your pattern? That's right, Corindas. Come on, try the one that fits closest the best. Let's not try to find yes and no's until we get to the end. All right, I'll read it fast. One, once again, is it easy for you to become emotionally close to others? Is it easy for you? Are you comfortable depending on others and having others depend on you? Do you worry about being alone or having others not accept you? Number two, are you comfortable without close emotional relationships? Forgive me, please. Are you comfortable without close emotional relationships? Is it very important to you to feel independent and self-sufficient? Do you prefer not to depend on others or have others depend on you? That's not all number two. I am comfortable without close emotional relationships. It is very important for me to feel independent and self-sufficient, and I prefer not to depend on others or have others depend on me. That's number two. Number three, I want to be completely emotionally intimate with others, but I often find that others are reluctant to get as close as I would like. I am uncomfortable being without close relationships, but I sometimes worry that others don't value me as much as I value them. That's number three. I want to be completely emotionally intimate with others, but I often find that others are reluctant to get as close as I would like. I am uncomfortable being without close relationships, but I sometimes worry that others don't value me as much as I value them. Number three. Was that one you? Only 94 of us in here tonight. We're still going to get the work done. We know by day 10, some people are going to fall off. And then the last statement, number 4, I am uncomfortable getting close to others. I want emotionally close relationships, but I find it difficult to trust others completely or to depend on them. I worry that I will be hurt if I allow myself to become too close to others. I'll read number 4 again for the last time. I am uncomfortable getting close to others. I want emotionally close relationships, but I find it difficult to trust others completely or to depend on them. I worry that I will be hurt if I allow myself to become too close to others. If you answered number 1 as the way you most usually feel, you are securely attached. If you have chosen number 2, this indicates you are a dismissive, avoidant attachment style. You are dismissive and avoidant. And I'm sure it shows up in your relationships. Dismissive and avoidant. If you've chosen number 3, you are more anxiously preoccupied than not. Anxiously preoccupied. So you definitely have anxiety when it comes to relationships or relating, and you're preoccupied. It's not the center of all that you do. You want the intimacy, but you find that people are reluctant to get close to you. But I'm pretty sure with the energy that you're throwing off, it's not that people are reluctant. They feel that you want it, but you're not going for it. And number 4, if that's you, that corresponds to a fearful, dismissive attachment style. Fearful, dismissive attachment style. And if you have a mixture, yep, like Crystal did. She said 1 and 4 is where she shows up at. 1 and 4. I think the part that y'all are grabbing on with number 1 is that it's easy for you to become emotionally close to others. But when they say emotionally close to others easily, they don't mean that you just throw yourself in all the way. What they're saying is it's a functional, emotional close to others. And you feel safe depending on people. You don't have fears of rejection or abandonment. And people can depend on you as well, and not in a people-pleasing way. And that you don't worry about being alone or having others not accept you. That's number 1. And that's a small percentage. I think I said the other night, 10% of the world is securely attached from the childhood if you haven't done any work. Right. And this is not the book. This is you are actually in a coaching session with me tonight. This would be the work we would be doing. So 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's what you need to decide. So up close, for those who are anxious or avoidant, let me talk to you for a moment. For those who came up with an attachment style of anxious or avoidant, keep in mind that these 3 types of insecure attachments, and it doesn't mean really that you are an insecure person. Your attachment style is insecure. You can be a secure person, but you attach with an insecurity because of what you lived through growing up. Keep in mind that these 3 insecure attachment styles, the anxious preoccupied, the fearful avoidant, and the dismissive avoidant, are not cast in stone as people would like to make them be. And not every individual fits neatly into one, but there is one that is the most dominant for you. Don't be shy if these tendencies mix or change even over time as we do our work or across relationships. So as you begin to think about your own attachment style, keep that in mind. Compared to the secure person who manages upset well in life, the anxiously attached individual is rarely on an even enough keel to do that. For those with anxious attachment, even a trickle of pain or disappointment feels like a tsunami to you, threatening to pull you under. It takes you over. Your emotions are whew, like a rainbow. They are not always on high alert and are worried about getting hurt or abandoned, but they also have a habit of exaggerating and misreading the cues offered up in all manner of situations. Interesting. Elder Joy, I don't think I've seen you on all month, have I? This is an example of someone's testimony. I am always quick to jump to conclusions, and I keep losing friends because of it. I take everything to heart. So when someone doesn't call me as they promise, my head doesn't think things like she gets busy or maybe they forgot. No, this person ends up writing a whole script in their mind and sometime a whole text about how she's not really my friend or she's using me or something along those lines. And then when I do talk to her, it's your script that you're answering, not her words. I keep working on this in therapy, but I have to admit, this has been a lifelong habit. Did y'all hear that important part? Not only do I write the script, when we do decide to have a conversation, I'm not even answering the stuff that she's talking about. I'm responding from the script in my mind. Remember the Apostles' House? For those that are in ministry or in training to be in ministry? Yes, Corinda's put it on the wall. The story we tell ourselves. There is always a story that we're telling ourselves. Interesting. Always quick to jump to conclusions. Always losing friends because of the script in my head. The anxiously attached, who were raised in households of hypercritical and demanding mothers. Did you hear me? Were you raised by a hypercritical and demanding mother? And you are now anxiously attached? Usually, you'll have trouble with any kind of criticism. And moreover, often see criticism where there isn't any at all. Come on, Elder Joy, where you go? I want you to keep talking to me. I know you've been on all month. I'm not saying, forgive me if that's what you think, or if that's how I said it. I know you've been on all month. I know that for sure, but you haven't been talking with me. Isn't Elder Joy special, y'all? To whom much is given, much is required, right? The anxiously attached person of a hypercritical and demanding mother usually have trouble with any kind of criticism, and moreover, often see criticism where none is intended. Any comment for this type of individual that sounds even vaguely critical can throw the anxious person into an overreactive state of high alert, which often has the unfortunate consequence of escalating into an argument that was highly avoidable in the first place. Take this scenario, for example. Annie is about to go to the grocery store shopping, and she's heading out the door. Her husband calls out to her, "Do you have your list? Don't forget the milk." She doesn't answer, but feels instantly picked on, the way she was as a kid when nothing she did was ever good enough for her mother. Now, she did shop without a list last week and did forget the milk, which created chaos the following morning in the household. But did he have to bring it up again? By the time she's done shopping, she's in a full snit, talk to herself the whole time. And when she gets home, she walks in the door yelling at him, asking him why he's always criticizing her. He is, as you might imagine, bewildered when he thought he was helping her out. Come on, y'all with me tonight? Yes, this goes deep. This is emotion. And I'm going very light on y'all because this can be so triggering. We need to be in a safe building together, not just on a virtual thing here. How many of you were raised by hypercritical and demanding mothers or parents? And now you struggle with criticism. You struggle with critique. You struggle with anyone even telling you something because you immediately take it as them being critical, talking down to you, not thinking that you're capable of doing the job because you still hear your mother's mouth. And yes, Constance, that's why relationships are so hard, because these are the two people that are really in the relationship. Not the 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70-year olds that we may be today. It's the kids under Hattie Mae and Ike. That's what shows up in the relationship. Let's do one more. Anxious attachment is filled with paradoxes and contradictions. On the one hand, you are a scaredy cat on the prowl, on the alert to rejection, slights, and criticisms. You feel intensely vulnerable all the time because you really want close connection and ties that you didn't have growing up. And you desperately want validation. But on the other hand, you are also very volatile, quick to pick a fight, apt to be jealous, and subject to emotional highs and lows. All of that has to do with what you did not learn in your childhood. How to manage and regulate your negative emotions. So when you're on the defensive, you slip into high offense mood and you start the roller coaster on the track. And you're really apt to play tit for tat because somehow, wrongly, you feel that's just, and it makes you feel more in control. It confirms your view of the world, the one you learned as a child, that view. So when someone doesn't call you right back, then leaves you a message, do you wait to return the call so he or she will know what it feels like? That's you. When you reacted because you felt slighted, and the person, it could be your spouse, your pastor, your partner, a friend, a colleague, tries to ask what happened, do you roll your eyes internally, passive aggressively, or disparage him? Just as your mother or father or grandma or auntie did you. Whew, I think we need to breathe. I think we need to breathe. Y'all all right? Look at y'all comments. Beautiful. I'm walking hard tonight. I had to come in because y'all was playing violins and harps going through this. And though I need to make it easy so that you can swallow the castor oil, I need you to be somewhere different than you were when I met you on January 2nd of 2024. Come on, let's take a breather. Let's breathe in our nose. Hold it. Out our mouths. Come on. In our nose. Come on. Hold it. Out our mouths. Let's go. How many of y'all have signed up on my app? Yesterday, I sent a message to you and I wanted you to check immediately how you were feeling. And we responded to every comment. And we took some people through breathing exercises. We took some in through mindfulness. Make sure you go to the app, go to the Wix app, subscribe, become a site member so that I can catch you off guard in the middle of the day. How you feeling right now? Boom. And I want to know right now. I don't want you to wait. I don't want you to think. How are you feeling right now? That's what I'm going to do every day until we're out of here, because I need you to become self-aware of yourself. What are you thinking about? Remember last year, metacognition, thinking about what was it again? Thinking about what you're not thinking about. Come on, help me out. God, we had that thing down packed. Come on, somebody put it up here. I know y'all got me. God, I think we're all just caught up in triggers right now. Nobody's posting it. What you don't know about yourself. Come on, how does it go? Think about what you're thinking about. Come on. Yes, Dawson. Yes, sincerity. Who is that sincerity? How did you know that? Yeah, that's what we do. And that's what emotions do. So when I send you a spontaneous text, boom, right there. Don't think, answer. How am I feeling right this minute? And that's how you do this work in your journal. Tit for tat type an individual. All right, this is where I have to end for tonight. Y'all all right? That went by fast, right? Yeah, it went by really fast. So these individuals, especially the examples that I gave, the real life scenarios that I promised in the beginning of the book that I will be given, they all coming from different places. Each person, each one of us, our experiences have taught us something. And for those scenarios that I just gave, their experiences have taught them that needing someone puts them at a risk, that rejection is painful, and that people are untrustworthy and unreliable. They armor themselves by being weary of intimacy and connection or avoiding closeness altogether. They stay outside a relationship even while appearing to be in one. Boom, boom, boom. The dismissive avoidant has a very high opinion of themselves, on the surface at least. They're not hesitant to voice their opinion. Their relationships aren't very important to them because they are fine on their own. They are proud of self-reliance. But that stance, though, it is a protective one. It's meant to defend the fragile self within from rejection or emotional wounding. Unlike the fearful avoidant, the dismissive doesn't want an intimate relationship or friendship, preferring instead to be emotionally invested in other pursuits, such as a career, work, hobbies. These folks, by the way, are the ones the popular culture identifies as narcissists much of the time. Not always a narcissist. We've learned to isolate, but this could be a very high personality trait for a narcissist. Two kinds of avoidant attachment, the fearful and dismissive, are distinguished not just by their views of themselves, but of others. The fearful avoidant has a low opinion of themselves, and while they really want intimacy and close connection, fear of rejection trumps all because they think highly of other people. If they feel like nothing and someone else is something, why on earth would he or she want you? And this is ditto in the realm of friendships. Do you prefer short-term connections, even hookups, to intensive relationships? Is that something? The true avoidant prefers relationships that aren't intimate or close. You're often attracted to people who aren't available because they're married or live across the country or are otherwise off limits, like your girlfriend or boyfriend. When you're in a new relationship, you tend to idealize an old one, which you left because the grass is somehow always greener where you're not. Dismissive avoidance may sometimes be in a relatively long-term relationship, but maintain their independence and back off from commitment. They don't want to move in with their lovers because they need their own space. They don't like long-term plans or anything else that sounds as though they're in it for the long haul. If you are a true dismissive avoidant, the work of making a relationship succeed is not your thing, because at the end of the day, you don't think closeness is all that important. And that came from your childhood. So you may have a dividing factor on the inside. You may be in division against your thought. You may feel that relationships are important and that you want relationship, but because of the learned thoughts in childhood, there's this division in you. So your relationships probably look very inconsistent. You probably disappear a lot, things like that. You have different ways of pushing your partner off. If you're dismissive, you get claustrophobic easily and quickly. When you're involved with someone, there's always something missing. He or she's not smart. They're not polished. They're not ambitious enough. And that makes sure that there's someone better for you out there in your mind, even. The avoidant is quick to come up with a list of flaws about their partner. Their partner is, so they're always on the lookout for greener pastures or just something to compare in your face. Avoidants are not good candidates for Fidelity of the Year awards, as the next traits make clear. I think I can finish this. You like sex, but hate to cuddle. Come on, get close to the camera. Let's talk about it. You like sex, but hate to cuddle. One research study showed that the dismissive avoidant has sex for very different reasons than fearful avoidant or even the anxiously attached. Are y'all with me? Let me check on y'all here. Let me see where y'all at tonight. Y'all should have been tagging friends and sharing with friends. This is why you and Pookie can't get along. Thank you, Dawson. You like sex but hate to cuddle. One research study showed that the dismissive avoidant has sex for very different reasons than either the fearful avoidant or even the anxiously attached. Let's start with the anxiously attached. They understand having sex as a validation of you being loved. Alas, this is actually not so great, since at its best, sex is about the dyad, your needs and desires and his needs and desires. Not happening. The anxious girl is in bed to be loved. The fearful avoidant falls into much the same trap again. All me and no dyad, and she then panics. And then there is the dismissive. He or she is just there for the sex. Does it surprise you that these avoidants tend to cheat? That's exactly what this study of research showed psychologists. The truth is commitment, the need for closeness and valuing the intimate ties we have are all that keeps us at home in bed and not elsewhere. This avoidant lacks all three. Ooh, somebody say replay. I bet now when you singles go out on a date, you're going to call me up and say, hey, I'm getting ready to go on a date. Can you give me 5 questions to ask them over this meal so that I can figure out if they're dismissive? Because I'm tired of having sex without cuddling. I'm tired of always attracting these cheaters or these people who got commitment issues. How do I keep attracting people with commitment issues? Because you're drawing in this dismissive type from your childhood. They remind you of your mom more than likely, or your dad. You're proud of not needing emotional support or closeness. Is this you? I think you know who you are by now. The real question is whether you want to stay like this. While the focus of this session is on you and your behaviors, throughout the rest of this time, we'll be looking at your partners and your friends you choose. Not surprisingly, attachment styles play an enormous role in this part of your life as well. Well, we'll probably not get there, but we could do it sometime this year. We can come back and do it just for attachment styles and relationships. We can do a singles event, or we can just do an event where couples can learn each other's attachment style. because attachment styles can change. My question to you in closing, did you find out how you attach, and do you want to stay there? Did you find out how you attach, and do you want to stay there? That's up to you. My hand has been extended for 10 days, and I'm going to stay with you every night. Even for those who have commitment issues, I'm going to stay with you for another 20 nights. Do you want to stay there? That's it. I am your coach. And for tonight, my work is done. I want to thank all those who have taken the time to like and share. If you have not done so, can you please take care of that even now? I want to thank those that are commenting on YouTube. You guys are really, really doing a good job at that. I want to thank you. I want to thank Kim for sewing in Cash App, and Anna and Rochelle. I want to thank Corindus, and I want to thank Chevelle. Thank you all for sewing in Cash App. Okay, Vanessa and Leah and Ashley as well. Absolutely. Thank you all for sewing. What a blessing. Go to replay, get your journals, and get busy. Some of y'all might need a second journal. I'm glad it was enlightening, Elaine. Enjoy it. Share it with someone else. Okay? God bless you. You ready to prophesy? I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. God bless you all, and good night.